I never thought I'd see her again, not after the way she left me. But life has a strange way of throwing the past back in your face when you least expect it. It had been 7 years since my ex-wife, Lena, walked out of my life. 7 years since she told me I wasn't ambitious enough for her. Back then, I was still trying to build my startup, a small tech idea that barely made any money. She said she was tired of struggling. A month later, she married Ryan, a wealthy businessman who owned half the restaurants downtown. I won't lie, it broke me. For years, I kept wondering if maybe she was right, if maybe love really didn't matter when your pockets were empty, but I never stopped working. I spent nights sleeping in my office, coding until sunrise, failure after failure, until one day, everything clicked. The app one built went viral. Investors came. Then came success. Then came silence, the kind where you don't need to prove anything anymore. I didn't post about it. I didn't tell anyone. I just worked and kept to myself. Fast forward to now. I was sitting in first class on a flight from New York to Los Angeles, heading to a tech conference where I was invited as a keynote speaker. And that's when I heard her voice. That unmistakable laugh, the one I used to love. I turned slightly and there she was, Lena, beautiful as ever, dressed in designer clothes, walking down the aisle with her husband, Ryan, the same man she'd left me for. For a second, my heart stopped. Then she saw me, her eyes widened, recognition flashing across her face. And then she smirked. Well, she said, loud enough for the nearby passengers to hear. If it isn't the Dropout guy, still chasing your little projects. Ryan chuckled beside her, clearly amused. I smiled, calm and polite. Hi, Lena. It's been a while. She tilted her head mockingly. Didn't think I'd find you in first class. Saving up miles, huh? I could have replied. I could have told her the truth, that I wasn't just a passenger, but the sponsor of the very conference she was flying to, that the airline she was on had a business partnership with my company. But I didn't say a word. Some lessons in life teach themselves. I just smiled. It's good to see you. The flight took off, and I went back to reading my notes. I could feel her glancing at me occasionally, probably wondering why I wasn't embarrassed, why I wasn't offending myself. Halfway through the flight, the head attendant approached me. Mr. Hayes, she said softly. The captain asked if you'd like to visit the cockpit after landing. He's a big fan of your company. Lena's head snapped toward me. Wait, Mr. Hayes? She repeated. I nodded. Yeah, I go by that now. My company's Hayes Tech. Her face went pale. Ryan frowned, confused. Hayes Tech? You mean the app that just signed with Tesla? I smiled slightly. That's the one. For the rest of the flight. She didn't say another word. When we landed, I gathered my things and stood up. Lena was still sitting, staring at me with a mix of shock and regret in her eyes. You built that? She whispered. I did, I said quietly. It took a while, but I got there. She blinked, struggling for words. I know. I thought that I'd always be a dropout. I finished for her gently. It's okay, Lena. You were right about one thing. I wasn't ambitious enough then. But sometimes, failure teaches you more than success ever could. Her husband stood awkwardly beside her, clearly uncomfortable. I could see the tension between them, the kind that comes when pride meets reality. As I walked toward the exit, she called out softly, Ethan. I turned. I'm happy for you, she said, voice trembling. Really? I nodded. Thank you. I hope you're happy too. But her eyes said otherwise. Later that evening at the conference, I gave my speech in front of hundreds of entrepreneurs and investors. I talked about perseverance, self-worth, and believing in yourself when no one else does. And as I stood there, the applause echoing through the hall, I saw her in the crowd, sitting quietly in the back row. Our eyes met for a moment. She smiled faintly, tears glistening. When the event ended, she disappeared into crowd. I didn't chase her. Some chapters are meant to close gently, without anger or revenge. That night, alone in my hotel room, I thought about how strange life is. The people who leave you, the people who mock you, they're not villains. They're just mirrors reflecting your own doubts back at you. Lena once called me the dropout guy. Now, I realized she wasn't just mocking me. She was naming the version of myself I needed to outgrow. And I did. Months later, a message popped up in my inbox. It was from Lena. Just one line. I finally downloaded your app. You were always meant to make something great. I'm sorry I didn't see it. I never replied. I didn't need to. Because sometimes success isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were never the failure they said you were.